What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We are diving into Etheria Restart, and we are on to day 2 of the progression guide. To start off, we have some summons. We've got 26 right now. We're going to chuck them straight into the permanent summon banner. Let's see if we get anything good. Hopefully we do. We went hard pity on the Freya banner, so thank God we got something on the first 10 pull here. We won't be using any of the pulls unless it's real mocha, so anything else... Oh, that's kind of funny. That is actually kind of funny. You go 80 pulls into Freya banner, and you hard pity, and your first SSR on the normal banner is Freya. This is why most people do pull on the standard banner. But for the sake of progression, we just wanted to make sure we got Freya really early, so we went the other way around. But you can see how that kind of bit me in the foot. Don't get me wrong, a Freya dupe is good because it is stats increase, and we don't need other units anyway as it is. But yeah. Day 2 is a lot about collecting rewards and pushing a lot of the PvE content as well. We obviously can go straight into hard 3 for both Terramaton and for the Doki Doki. By farming the panda shell that we were getting yesterday, this already boosts our stats high enough that we just need to make sure we have the correct teams, and we should be looking good. Now, if we go back to my progression guide, which will come up on the screen here now, what we're trying to do between level 17 and 20 is we want to make sure we have 3 to 4 of the Swift Rush sets equipped on our main units, as well as we are definitely looking for a triple crit rate on Grey and some accuracy, effect accuracy sets for our debuffer, which was in this case is going to be Kazuyo. Now, unfortunately, we haven't pulled Kazuyo the Reverie just as of yet. We will do a couple more 10 pulls to see if we get her, but if we don't, it's not the end of the world, because when you hit level 10 in this game, they will give you a box where you can choose one unit at level 10. And in this case, we will most likely pull Kazuyo from here if we don't get it in the next 20 or 30 summons. So we'll be picking up Kazuyo in 20 to 30 pulls regardless, so you don't have to worry too much about that. And she will be built on a Swift Rush set with a focus being on effect accuracy for her right side modules. For Leanne's gear, you don't really have to worry about it. She will get most of her gear from the missions and other places. I'll show you them in a second. So you don't really have to worry about farming Terramaton as of now. If you have the mission to run it 10 times, go ahead and complete it and then move on. For the other parts where you can get her gear, if you go into the challenge section and go into the Anasync Echoes, we can get some of her gear here from just pushing the stages. And the other place where you'll get her gear is in the events. So if you go to the events and scroll down to the Lethal Pursuit, and if you go over to Threshold, you can get some drops here. Now, even if the subsets are poor on the pieces that you gain, you are just going to max them out. So once I do get the outstanding one here, we're just going to take that straight up to 15 and use that as a replacement on our Leanne. This is going to be a huge damage increase in the early game. If you already have 3 to 4 Swift Rush sets and the stats aren't too bad, you've got the main stats and everything, you can then just go on and use your energy to complete any hyperlink missions, or just spend them in the GP outposts, as this is always going to be an okay place to farm. At level 18 in the Grim Pursuit, you unlock Karuru, which we aren't really going to focus on too heavily. We are pretty much just going to complete him now for the hyperlink charter missions. If we really need to, we will come back and farm some of these stars, as they are useful for a specific farming team for Doki Doki. For now, all you need to do is go in with the teams that we've been using so far. So in our case, it is still going to be Grey, Freya, Sanya, and Leanne. If you don't really need Sanya for this one here, as damage is actually probably more important. If you've already built up your Dina, feel free to chuck her in. We haven't actually got anything built on her, so we're just going to chuck this in and see how it goes. So one thing you can start doing from now is, if you have been spending energy in the GP outpost, feel free to go and level up Leanne's skill 3 to level 2. You're going to have to do this for the hyperlink charter missions anyway. Her S3 upgrade is an increase to her attack bar pushback, so it's always going to be good for helping you clear some content. For Grey, we want to upgrade his defense break to 100% activation rate. So getting that to level 4 is very good. The other thing we want to do is, when you do get your Kazuyo either from the box or summons, you want to prioritize getting her S3 to level 5 just for the cooldown as well as the activation rate as well. And this is going to make your Doki Doki farming team for both hard and the nightmare cases very, very easy. For hard 3, we are just going to go straight for the clear for now. We do need to upgrade some of these modules to make the characters slightly tankier. What you will want to do is optimize the team so that you can just run it on auto, so you don't have to worry about this. And pretty much all you have to do is just make your Gray slightly tankier, maybe level up your Dina to rank 4, and this should make it perfectly fine. As you can see here, this allows us to keep pushing our hyperlink missions. We went straight to hard 3 for both of the stages. We didn't do any more module farming or shell farming or anything like that. So if you've done everything on day 1, you should be able to do the exact same process to get where you are. A huge tip for this mission right here, which is to upgrade any 2 animus to 5-star, is you should either be doing this on DPS you'll be using to clear content, or you should be doing this on characters that aren't built on tanky stats on their right side modules, because they're going to need some extra base stats to maybe survive. For right now, I'm going to be taking the Gray up to rank 5, and the other unit we're going to take to rank 5 is also going to be Dina. These two are going to be the squishiest targets in the Terramaton level, so this will just make sure I can just go back to the team and just auto it just for now. So as you can see here, another thing you can do now is we can go and collect the reward from the Lethal Pursuit threshold, and we're going to put this onto our Leanne straight away, and you're going to take these ones up to 15. As you may remember from the general module powering up guide we were doing yesterday, the unique ones we were taking to level 9, the epic ones we were taking to level 12 for now, and these outstanding ones, we are just going to take them straight up to 15 as they are a huge boost to our damage. So here we have no crit damage one right now, so we're looking at the worst of the 2 attack bonus ones here. And I kind of like this one here just because it has the flat attack and a crit rate roll. So we're going to get rid of this one here. We're going to unload it and we're going to chuck this one on. And we're just going to upgrade this straight all the way to 15. If this rolls well into attack, bonus, or speed, well, we jinxed it. Flat attack is still not the worst, but this is still a good upgrade to our Leanne. This allows us to easily auto farm Terramaton 3. So you can just go back in. You don't have to worry about targeting left arm or anything for now. You can just go straight onto the boss and you should be able to do your 10 runs easily. In the meantime, if you do get any upgraded drops for your Leanne, feel free to get rid of the lower quality gear because she's still rocking some of the lower stuff. So if we look at this here, this is actually not a bad piece. So we might go back to our Leanne right now, check this, and this is already better. So we're going to actually go and power this one up to 12 and just put it straight on. Another way that we can just increase the damage that we're getting out of our main DPS. So one thing I quickly wanted to say again is you should never be farming stage 1 or 2 of a difficulty. You never need to. Currently in this game, you're able to go straight to the 3rd version pretty much straight away with a small adjustment. Maybe you need to level up a character. Maybe you need to reconfigure their shell. Maybe you need to get some more stats. So just go through your modules and see if you've got something slightly better. But you never ever should be farming stage 1 or 2. This is definitely inefficient and the drop rates are always better on the final stage of each difficulty. While we are pushing our account level to level 20, we're going to go and complete some of our daily event missions. So we're going to go and do our cubic game. If you remember correctly from yesterday's video, we had the Beyontin card that we're going to be focusing on as this gives us the Shadow Prince. We're going to go clear all of these and we'll come back in just a second. One other really good thing that you'll notice is we do get our anima fragments for Leanne as we complete her missions. You're going to want to go and make sure you get her power up straight away as it is also another damage increase. So right now we're going to go into the anima section. We're going to go to Leanne, prowess, and we can go and upgrade her stats. Okay. So don't forget to do this once you do get them. You will get one more anima fragment later on from her missions. And you'll also get the crit damage bonus here. With the Shell Story event, we currently have 20 energy dice. So with the dice, you get 10 a day and it caps out at 20. So we definitely need to go in and just use 10 right now. One thing that you do want to focus on is there's a witch over here on the right-hand side, and she allows us to get some more Shadow Prince. Outside of this, you're probably just focusing on crystals, summons, or whatever you want. You also have a paradise shop down here, and we are definitely wanting to get this as soon as possible So focusing on shells, if you have any of the special dice, may be a good idea too. We're going to come back tomorrow and use all 20. We definitely want to try to get some more shadow prints, and we will start working towards being able to buy the red shadow print from the shop. That is something to keep in mind for making it easier to get your first 6-star. So as you can see here, we actually ended up farming some epic gear for Leanne from Terra Maton. We got some okay drops. We also went and cleared stage 4 of the Anasync Echoes, which is going to give us our crit rate piece here. And we're going to power this straight up. We might be taking this one to 15 because at this point, our Leanne is very close to hitting 55 crit rate, which is pretty much all we need. So let's chuck this piece on to see what it puts us at. Where did it go? It's this one here, this one here. So let's replace it. So right now, our crit rate is at 47%. We need to get another 8% to be guaranteeing crits onto the holo, which is the green color unit. So we're just going to power this up because it'll get us pretty close. So right now we're 3% off, which means that if we go into something like Terra Maton, we don't have any RNGs as long as we have Gray in the team. There's no RNG with worrying about us critting. We will obviously just re-roll some of these pieces here to get 3% more crit. And that should be good for pushing to the next stage of progression. Just from clearing a lot of the hyperlink charter missions, as well as doing the Anasync Echoes, we've managed to get another 10 pull. Now, in this 10 pull, if we don't get Kazuyo, at this point, we are just going to go and grab her from the box. So hopefully we get something. Let's see how... Oh, we also have 3 of the free attempts from the Anasync Echoes. Maybe we get lucky here as well. So let's just use them first. 1, 2, and 1 more. 3, and we didn't get anything. So let's pray we get her in the 10 pull because then we can save the box for another unit. Okay, any gold? No, so it's just purple. We're just going to skip through, and we got another copy of Sanya. So right now, we're just going to, we pretty much got as unlucky as possible as you could get on any account. We don't have any new SSRs. We didn't get Kazuyo from any of our summons. So what we're going to do, straight over here to the consumables, we're going to go to the box and we're just going to use this and pull Kazuyo. Okay, confirm. So we've gone and chucked some modules onto the Kazuyo for now to help with our Doki Doki farming. As before, it's always going to be Swift Rush with a focus on getting effect accuracy on the right-hand side modules. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that we have gone and started upgrading her S3. There's also a new event running. So if you do have this one up at this point in time, it's called a Champions Call. And this one, you're going to go and pick a team to win the final tournament, as well as you can predict just between the matches themselves as well. We're going to quickly have a look through the teams to see which one we think is the strongest. So for right now, I think my favorite team... Let's see, which one do we think is looking good? You know what? I'm going to go for Hydro Bank. I'm going to pick these guys as my winner. Later on in 9 hours and 23 minutes, we're also going to be able to pick which team we think would win in the single fights, and you'll get some rewards at the end of the day, which are pretty nice. We've also reached another point now where we are going to upgrade our 3rd Animus to 5-star. We've talked about this a little bit earlier, and we've already done Gray. Another unit that I think most people will probably have to 5-star. You're going to have to 5-star her for hell anyway, is Dina. So I actually recommend taking her next to 5-star. Another unit you could consider is probably Valerian if you have her, or your other healer, which is Sanya. Both of them are going to be very useful, and they will need to be 5-star for clearing some of the content. So that's also not a bad choice. For me personally, I'm going to do Dina. Now, you might be wondering, do we need to take Kazuyo the Reverie up to higher? Actually, we don't. She's usually pretty safe in the Doki Doki dungeon, so you probably only need to take her up to 4-star for now. And if maybe you're really struggling on the Hell 4 or even Inferno stages, feel free to take her up to 5-star. I don't think you'll ever need to take her up to 6 though. Another really important thing is from this point on, please do not go upgrading any other character's ranks. Right now, we want to be saving all our rank up materials to be 6-starring Leanne as soon as possible. This is going to push us to the next stage of progression and is the biggest leap in power that you'll get. So just remember to save any of your shadow prints. You don't need to go start playing with any of the other units. Everything is going to be going into Leanne from now on. When you do have enough shadow prints, feel free to go in and finish off her module EXP. If you don't have enough EXP, you will have to go farm it from the stages in the challenges. The last tip for the Doki Doki auto farm for hard stage 3 is for the auto settings. And if you go to wave 2, you should move the elite bravery unit up to the second spot here. This is the big guy in the middle. And the reason being is right now we haven't upgraded our Kazuyo skill 3 to all the way. So she doesn't have that extra cooldown reduction. This is easily solved by doing this one small change. You'll find that your Leanne might die. She's going to get focused a lot on the final wave, but that's not an issue. This is still going to clear because what will happen is this big unit will die from our Budo pandas just going boing, 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 boing. And then the other units are trivial. So the other units aren't really going to be an issue. It's just the big guy in the middle. We're now reaching the end of day 2 of progression. The only thing we've got left to do after completing all our hyperlink missions is pretty much just level up the account by AFK farming. So what I recommend everyone to do is make sure they do all of their normal stamina refreshes. And you're going to want to follow this guide over here. You pretty much want to farm either gaps in your modules. You can farm some EXP if you need to level up some characters, or you can always go back to the GP outpost, as that is always going to be continuously a good thing to farm. So one of the most important things you do every day is your daily quests. So if we go back over here and we go into the quests, we have already finished everything for today. This is always one of the most important things you can do. It gives a lot of EXP and goodies along the way. So make sure you've always completed this before reset. You don't want to miss out on any of the free rewards. The other thing we did on day 2 was we 5-starred 2 units that need higher stats. In particular for this account, the 2 units that we were focusing on were Dina and Gray. So if we go into the animuses here, you can see that both Dina and Gray are 5-star. The next thing you want to make sure you're doing is in your guild, make sure you go and do the dailies that we talked about yesterday. The next thing you want to make sure you have done is you want to skill up both Gray and Kazuyo. The other thing you should have been doing is you should have been farming Doki, GP Outpost if you really had any excess stamina. You should be doing all your hyperlink missions. And the final thing you should be doing for every day is making sure that you're doing your arena, your Phantom Theater, and your events for any goodies there. And just a reminder for the events, please prioritize any shadow prints as the rewards. We are trying to 6-star our Leanne as soon as possible, and a lot of people will be able to do it on day 3. This account we may not be able to as we weren't in an active guild. Being in an active guild and getting a lot of the guild points allows you to buy some of the shadow print materials. We'll see how we go tomorrow, but if not, it's not a big problem. We can just do it on day 4.